Good afternoon, everyone. How are we all? Happy Friday. I apologise in advance for the sound because I've lost my mic pack. I can't remember where it is, can't remember what I've done with it, can't find it. So if this sounds terrible, my apologies. Talk about a few things this week. I want to start with Dennis McCann popping for 2 anabolics. And firstly, most notably for Tren. Now, in terms of anabolics, the Tren is probably the single most potent one out there. I mean, that's the hard stuff, Trenbolone. And the funny thing is Trenbolone is really specifically a bodybuilding drug. Its benefits, the strength and power, you're going to benefit massively. But from a cardiovascular point of view, Trenbolone isn't an ideal drug. Certainly not an ideal drug for boxing, but in terms of drugs to use to cheat with as well, it's such an easily discoverable one as well, especially depending on how it's administered. Trenbolone is through injection, intramuscularly. But like I said, it's one of the really, really most powerful anabolics you can get. So an odd choice first off. I mean, if you, and this is not condoning Conor Ben's sort of own situation with the PED thing, but popping for clomiphene, but you can almost compare the two. If we're comparing them to, say, recreational drugs, clomiphene, you say, is about your sort of cannabis level almost, and Trenbolone is almost your crystal meth heroin, like the real hard stuff. So Trenbolone is a real why are you doing that, firstly, and expecting not to get caught. I mean, I think a lot of the problem with drugs is, and why they get away with it so sort of, although I say get away with it, you don't know how many are slipping through the net. Certainly more and more seem to be getting caught. And a lot of it is down to just the lack of testing and the logistics of testing, the cost of testing, how many testers there are, how many labs there are. So testing is kind of like, you know, there's a very finite amount of testing going on because just like I say, the sheer sort of logistics of the whole thing, testing costs, whatever, staffing, labs, this, that and the other. But how many are slipping through the net? But myself and Joe Steiner were having a conversation the other night, and it was kind of like along the lines of, do you think that when fighters get popped for using a performance enhancer, and you know, when they get popped for using a performance enhancer, and then the fighter will get the whatever's coming to them, the ban, the fines, whatever. Now, should the trainers or the managers be somewhat held responsible as well? Now, anyone who's spent enough time around gyms will know. For me, I think the trainers should be held accountable to a degree as well. And I'll tell you why. Especially when you get a fighter who's been with a trainer kind of career, you know, so they've spent the whole career together. If that fighter pops for an illegal substance, I will not fucking have it that the majority of trainers don't fucking realise. If you're in a gym with a guy with a trainer, one of your fighters every day, you know, and you've been with him for a number of years, to say that a trainer doesn't know or is implicit in any way, I'm not fucking buying it. I would say in almost over 90% of cases, because trainers know for a start. You know the differences visually in your fighter. You'll know the differences in performance in your fighter, especially if you're with that fighter doing S&C and stuff like that. You'll know the difference between when your fighter is on and when your fighter is off. And just because of the way of this sort of ecosystem works within gyms and supplements and performance enhancers and stuff like that, I am not fucking having it. Half of these trainers, the majority of these trainers, do not know. So should they face some responsibility? I think yes. I mean, all right, you can take a situation where you would get a fighter who's been inactive for a while, hasn't been essentially signed to any camp, not any trainer, and then moves to a certain trainer. You know, there could be a situation there where he was using while he's inactive, and then suddenly goes to a gym, signs up with a new trainer, and then he pops shortly after that. There's a chance the trainer doesn't know. But fighters who have been with trainers for any period of time, I will not fucking have it that the trainers do not know. So yeah, I do think the trainers should be implicit or implicated into the punishment where this usage is concerned. And another reason I think they should as well is if all right, let's say that the trainers don't know, but let's say the fighter knows that if I pop, then my trainer, my gym are gonna be punished alongside me. So surely that'd make a fighter think twice. You know, like in the military and the special forces, if in training a recruit fucks up repeatedly, the rest of the squad will get punished for his mistake, and that will make him think that, because in the military, if someone fucks up, it can cost the lives of your fellow fucking soldiers. So if a fighter thinks, if I use and I pop, my trainer is going to get punished as well, would that make the fighter think twice, knowing that it's not just me that's going to pay the price, it's going to be the gym or going to be my trainer that pays the price as well? But, so yeah, I think they should, because I won't fucking have it. I don't care what anyone says. I would say, I wouldn't even say, I would fucking put my house on that the majority of fucking trainers know that when fighters are fucking dirty or not. So, but Trenbolone, fucking outrageous to pop for Trenbolone. Fucking crazy. And to think that you're not going to pop for it if tested, because these substances are not created naturally by the body, they're synthetics. Fucking wild that you would even dream of doing a fucking drug like Trenbolone as well. Madness. We had the little excerpt of the sit down of Daniel Dubois and Joseph Parker yesterday. It was about 7 minutes long, so this is a heavily edited version, shorter version. I don't know if the longer version will be any better. I certainly think that you would, if this is a sort of almost a teaser of the full length one, you would add a bit more of the spicy bits in, and there weren't that many spicy bits in there, was there? But before this, and my opinion hasn't really changed in essence. I do my full prediction near the time, but I said this previously, I won't go over again. I think Joseph Parker's looked a little brittle recently, and Daniel Dubois is almost reborn. But in this sit down, to me, there were times where, to me, Joseph Parker almost, how can I say it? Joseph Parker came across very confident, as he would do, and he has every right to do. Joseph Parker's a fantastic fighter, a fantastic career. But there were times where he sort of there was defiance from Joseph Parker, and a couple of occasions where you saw Daniel Dubois, kind of almost have to pause and process that someone was doubting Dubois' confidence. You know what I mean? So it was interesting. And I do. It has kind of narrowed my opinion of, I fancied Daniel Dubois. I fancied him heavily, but I don't know. Joseph Parker in there, he looked like almost he knew something we didn't he? There was the part where Andy Lee said about Daniel Dubois quitting and that he would return to type, and Daniel Dubois came back with, because Andy Lee sort of said that's what fighters do, they revert to type, and Daniel Dubois came back with, you might do, that might be the type of fighter you were, but I'm not. And I was talking about this to Joe Stunner, and as Joe Stunner said, Andy Lee could have come back with, yeah, but you did quit twice on your knee, so fair point. But yeah, has narrowed my opinion of it a bit. I still think Daniel Dubois' favourite, but I looked at him sat there, and I looked at Joseph Parker, and Joseph Parker kind of looked the heavier set attitude, didn't he? To me, with clothes on, it's hard to tell, but we will see how that goes. But yeah, there we are. I mean, yeah. So anyway, quick video. I'll see you all soon.